It is Tuesday evening, so that means it is time for the Lockdown Coverage Podcast. Got my dude Blake hanging out with me. We got Wags hanging out with us. The first time on the show. It's only been the second show, but I mean, the first time on the show. There's going to be a lot of firsts for a lot of us. And, of course, me, Mike Tipton, hanging out with you here on the Prime Coverage Sports Network, doing a bunch of cool things out here. Make sure you check them out. Like, subscribe, wherever it is that you're doing all your stuff at. Now, guys, we had an absolutely phenomenal weekend in the NFL.
Yep.
Some of us did. Now I forgot my dude Wags is in Chicago. Heartbreaking loss over there for Dub Bears. But before we get to that game, let's go chronologically now.
All right.
We got on these games on Saturday night and Saturday afternoon, depending on where it is that you're watching this from. The first game, the Denver Broncos defeating the Buffalo Bills 33-30. Bo Nix, somehow, some way, finds a way to become the greatest quarterback in Broncos history, hyperbole, and Josh Allen solidifies his legacy as one of the biggest all-time chokers, and now Sean McDermott is out of a job.
Yes.
Wags, what were your thoughts on that game and the way that game came to an end?
Well, I mean, the bottom line is, I believe, first of all, I'm on the Side Action Podcast. We talk about sports gambling. I was on the Bills heavy in the game, so I'm going to give my bias right there. So when we talk about that big play later with the interception/reception, I do think Denver stole one. I mean, they literally stole a game, but obviously Josh Allen helped them out into the first half, fumbling the ball, throwing it backwards from 15 yards, giving them a field goal. You can't turn the ball over 5 times and win. But I thought I don't think the better team won that day. But in the end, what can you do? Denver came through, and I do think you're right. Bo Nix played a great game. He actually had great deep balls in that game. How he broke his ankle, I have no idea on that quarterback sweep. But in the end, they advanced. Denver advances. Buffalo goes home. McDermott's out on the street. So incredible game to watch, but not my result, but the result happened.
Blake, what were your thoughts on that game? The way that the Denver Broncos win in overtime, 33-30.
Man, like Mr. West said. Oh, and by the way, hi, Mr. There we go. There, y'all can hear me now. Sorry.
Yeah.
How are y'all doing?
Good.
Had a pretty good weekend, but yeah, Josh Allen and Bo Nix, they had a pretty hard-fought weekend, like I knew they would.
Cutting that again, brother.
I'm sorry. Unfortunately, it seems like your microphone is cutting out for you here. So maybe
there it goes. There it goes. We're good. We're good now. Perfect. All right. I'll get back to where I was starting. My bad. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. 33-30 overtime win. Bo Nix ended up having a season-ending ankle injury. I don't think that's going to affect the Broncos that much. I did like the win, the thrilling field goal win over the Bills. But the Broncos also did only have 70 rushing yards the whole game.
That's right.
The whole game. I don't, like Wes said, I don't think the better team won. I just think they got the better end of the deal when it came down to overtime. The Bills did have 2 interceptions. Josh Allen threw 2 interceptions. Bo Nix threw 1. Bo Nix did have a good passing game. Josh Allen both did have a good passing game going on too. So, I mean, 2 offenses, just one got the better end of the deal, which the Broncos, like I said, Bo Nix suffering a season-ending ankle injury. I don't think that that's going to affect the Broncos that much. Just because, I mean, they got
I'm not trying to disagree with you, Blake, direct, but we already got in the comments, the guy's like, what's this guy on? I mean, from a gambling perspective, the opening line with Nix would have been like -2 for Denver. Now it's like +5 for New England. So the money disagrees with you, but maybe you're right. And I think you're not wrong in terms of they got to run the football this time. Otherwise, it's going to be night. And the Bills defense is supposed to be bad against the run, but they didn't even test it. But hey, they put up 30 points, so they did something, or 33 points. They did something.
Freddie jumped in right now, so it means that he must have something he wants to say because he just popped out of nowhere. Like, no, I don't like this nonsense.
Probably because my mic was going in and out, and y'all couldn't hear me.
No. Somebody have to say it. Somebody have to say it. I don't want to hear nothing about Sean McDermott losing his job. It wasn't because of him. Josh Allen fumbled the ball. Josh Allen was supposed to be Superman. He was not Superman. This was the time where Josh Allen was supposed to put the Buffalo Bills on his back. This was the game that he was finally. So you know what? Hey, there's no Patrick Mahomes. There's no Lamar Jackson. There's no Joe Burrow. I'm here. I'm the guy. No matter what. Hey, we don't want to hear about you don't have these weapons. We don't want to hear about none of these things. You're Josh Allen. Finish the job.
And that's what I was going to get at too. Whenever you're the guy, you're the bigger name quarterback here. You're the guy who's supposed to put the team on your back and do what it takes to win the game. You cannot go into a playoff game and turn the ball over 4 total times. The 2 interceptions and the 2 fumbles that you had. All of that super costly, and especially whenever you're on the road, right? Like we know that home field advantage is a real thing. We saw that in Seattle, the way that game kicked off. We'll talk about that coming up in a second as well. But if you're Josh Allen, we spent that whole game waiting to see Josh Allen take over. And whenever Buffalo got the ball in overtime, we thought Josh Allen was going to be the guy to lead his team down. Let's not forget we changed the overtime rules to make Josh Allen and Buffalo Bills fans happy. Let's make sure everyone gets the ball now, so it's all fair for everybody. And he did absolutely nothing with it. Right? Did absolutely nothing with it. Denver wins with a last-second field goal. McDermott gets fired. But where was Josh Allen? When big-time quarterbacks are supposed to step up, Josh Allen was nowhere to be found.
He missed Dawson Knox, right? When they hit the game-time field goal, he missed him. He was wide open. That's a game ender right there. I don't know if he underthrew that ball to Cooks at the end, but he had other shots. He had it when they got that turnover of Knicks. He hit that deep interception. So you're right, man. I mean, he turned the ball over. He knew it. He was crying at in the press conference. He knew what happened. But I don't know. I mean, so we're not talking about the catch rule. I guess I thought we'd talk a little bit about it, and I guess you guys are fine with it being an interception. But at some point, they either clarify or just tell me. They need to tell us exactly what happened. In real time, it did look like an INT, but when he slow it down, I'm like, okay, dude's down, whatever. Through the process of the catch, whatever the hell that means. It was as a guy who puts a little cash on there, I was a little bit upset, but hey, either way, you're right. He gave up the ball 4 times. They gave up 5 times as a team. James Cook had another one that would have been a score, at least a field goal. So yeah, they didn't get it done.
I'm gonna come in and say something, one more thing. I don't know what that guy was talking about, but like I said, if you take the Eagles year that Nick Foles came in, they were the underdogs.
Sure.
The whole playoffs. I mean, they ended up winning the Super Bowl that year. I mean, so you can't discard a quarterback for being a backup who's never played a single snap in the NFL. You can't. He learns just like the starting quarterback does in practice every single week. He may not get, the starting abilities like the first string quarterback guy, but I do believe in underdogs. I've seen it before. It happens all the time in college. It happens all the time in the NFL. But, Bo Nix, you can say that this was a good year for him. I mean, I love what the Broncos got going on. The Broncos are going to be a tough team to beat. They're going to be a tough team to handle. Josh Allen and the Bills, they still got to figure out what that missing piece is, honestly. I don't know what was going on, but like y'all are saying, committing, 4 turnovers, 2 fumbles, 2 interceptions, that's kind of hard. Especially like Freddie was talking about, being that, you don't have Lamar Jackson, you don't have Aaron Rodgers, you don't have Tom Brady, you don't have any of those other guys that in the AFC ahead of you at all. And being that the Broncos came in and missed out on the first week, they came in and they looked like the same team, almost the same Broncos. They didn't skip a beat at all. I mean, the Bills just looked like they were overplaying.
Hold on. I don't want to hear that, Blake. I've heard that. Look at you. I mean, I'm just tired of everybody giving Josh Allen the pass.
I'm not giving Josh Allen the pass, but look,
Five turnovers, ladies and gentlemen. I know we haven't got to this matchup yet, but we just got. We're going to talk about the Chicago Bears and the Los Angeles Rams. You know what Josh Allen don't have? He don't have what Caleb Williams have. Caleb Williams obviously have what you call a clutch gene. He makes big plays at a young age. At a young age, you mean to tell me you going against a young quarterback? And there's nothing against the kid. There's nothing against him. But you're Josh Allen. You're the MVP. You're supposed to get it done. No matter what. You're supposed to get it done. You've been here too many times. You're too experienced.
You could have said the same thing about Jalen Hurts, though. Where was he at? He didn't. He wasn't there playing.
That's a different story.
He wasn't there playing against the 49ers. That's not the Jalen Hurts that everybody knows that he can play.
Bro, that Eagles team had problems all year long. All year long.
Mm-hmm.
They were dismantling in the playoffs. A.J. Brown has been crying about it all year long.
Right, true. Yeah. I understand. I'm not going to argue with you.
So
all of them is Fred.
It's hard to say that Josh Allen isn't clutch when he's got 17 fourth quarter drives and 25 game-winning drives, right? Like that's one of those weird things. You can't say that he's not clutch. Like he's just not clutch when it counts to play on, right? Because we haven't seen this happen for him in the playoffs. When it's time for the big moments to step up, Josh Allen isn't there in the playoffs. Maybe he's a good regular season quarterback, but as we all know, the regular season don't mean anything, right? It's all about winning the championship. It's all about getting to the Super Bowl. It's all about doing all that stuff. Right now, Josh Allen, out of all the quarterbacks that are out there in the NFL going into next season, Josh Allen has to be the quarterback with the most pressure on him to win a Super Bowl. And it's going to be that way until he gets that monkey off his back. And unfortunately for Buffalo Bills, it ain't going to get easier because Kansas City's going to bounce back. Baltimore's more than likely going to bounce back.
You got the Colts.
You got the Colts on the come up. Yeah. The Bengals are going to be better. Like, it's not going to be – this was the easiest route for Josh Allen to get to a Super Bowl, and they absolutely choked it away.
And then
the bottom line is Allen, but I will say, not in his defense, but I don't think McDermott should have kept his job though, because they can't stop a nosebleed in the playoffs. Every single game, they let guys put up tons of points. I mean, last week they did get some turnovers against the Jags. They probably should have beat them too. But every year it's the same thing. Get a stop, McDermott. You're a defensive coach. They can't get a stop. So in the end, I don't know. Either way, they're going to get a new leader. Let's see what they can do. Maybe a defensive coach or maybe an offensive coach. I mean, they've got plenty of offense. It's just the defense. And like you said, the clutch gene. Maybe they can't teach it, but at least they can put them in a better spot at some point in time.
Hold on, Mr. Augustine. I see you like to go against. I see that you like to go at us in the comments. So it's my turn to come after you, sir. And I by no means, I don't mind. But let me, he said, and let's be real with Allen. He didn't have a receiving corps with everybody injured. Well, I'm going to say this. If we're going to get rid of McDermott, let's get rid of the GM as well.
Yeah, he got elevated.
He got elevated like that. He did a good job. I mean, let's just be honest. He should have been gone as well. If we're going to get rid of McDermott. There's a report that McDermott went into office with management and said, hey, we do not have enough depth to compete in the playoffs.
And this is the thing, right? Like that's been a thing that I've been hearing all weekend since this happened on Saturday, that Josh Allen didn't have a receiving corps. What did Patrick Mahomes have last year? And he carried the corpse of the Kansas City Chiefs to the Super Bowl, right? Like he drug a dead body behind him. And that's why they had nothing left, because he spent the whole year carrying a dead body all the way to the Super Bowl. So don't give me this whole, Josh didn't have any receivers.
And go look at Tom Brady in the years that he won the Super Bowl. Yeah, he brought guys in that were 6th-round draft picks.
Who?
They weren't even supposed. Julian Edelman, he wasn't known about. You didn't hear about Julian Edelman still.
What about
Tom Brady got on the team.
What about the tight ends?
He had Rob Gronkowski. That was it. That's it. That's it.
That's it. That's all. Sometimes I feel like that's all you need.
Sometimes yes, but you could say the same thing about Patrick Mahomes too. All he's got, yes, he did have Tyreek Hill and he had Travis Kelce together, but after Tyreek Hill left, who did he have?
Exactly. But
Because he won 2 Super Bowls, right? After he won Super Bowls. I hear what you're saying. I think on Sunday, I mean, I saw Shakir played, Keon Coleman played, who dropped a touchdown, right? I mean, he had another one. They did have, obviously, Cooks off the street. They picked up McCole Hardman, the ghost of McCole Hardman, scored a touchdown. So I don't know. When you have the big money quarterback, he's got to be the point guard and spread the ball around. And Allen does that more often than not. It's just, this game was about turnovers. It wasn't about his weapons. I mean, it wasn't like he was missing wide open guys or guys weren't getting open. He was just turning the ball over, and that's just something you can't do.
So I love that Augustine is pointing out that Mahomes had Kelsey and Xavier Worthy last year. The whole narrative surrounding Travis Kelce last year was what? He was washed. Absolutely washed. Everyone thought he was going to retire. Why would he come back in 2025? Kelce is washed. Look what Taylor Swift has done to him. Oh, my Lord. So you can't be like he has Travis Kelce, because we saw a legitimate drop-off in what Travis Kelce offered from year to year going into last season. But you know what? That's enough about that. We spent way too much time talking about a team that lost. We got to give some love to the Denver Broncos. Sucks for them, though, that their quarterback goes out with a broken ankle on a second-to-last play on what has to be the weirdest knee I have ever seen anybody take.
Yeah, that was really weird. I was like, I didn't even believe it whenever ESPN came out. I was like, what? That don't even make sense.
I couldn't believe it.
I spent the whole weekend. Well, not the whole week, a small part of the weekend. I was exaggerating, a tiny bit of the weekend, going over that play, trying to see if I could see where the ankle broke. I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, he had to have sold his soul to the devil to win that game, because the devil was like, now I'm taking your ankle. You're not going to a Super Bowl. Like, that's exactly what this feels like for the Denver Broncos. But we'll talk about them and their matchup coming up later on this week. The San Francisco 49ers. I don't think there's much we can say about this game. The Seattle Seahawks took belt to ass. Sorry, I don't know if I can say that word on the network, but I said it.
You can say it.
It took B to A on the San Francisco 49ers. Let's give the 49ers their love. No one expected them to be here because of all the injuries. But, man, Seattle was absolutely dominant. What are your thoughts, Freddie?
I mean, like you said, brother, we didn't expect much. I mean, you lose Kittle. You have too many pieces on this team that's hurt. We know if this team was whole, that game would have been not saying they would have won, but the game would have been a lot different. But just for them to be where they're at, because we thought, I mean, hey, everybody counted them out. But we have to give them credit. This team is consistent. This team, no matter who's playing football, on most nights can compete with anybody, because Kyle Shanahan is one of the best offensive-minded coach in football, like one of the best in football. But it is one of those things where they just didn't have much to put on the field to compete with the Seattle Seahawks. Ladies and gentlemen, I wasn't a believer. I'm a believer now.
Yeah,
and I'm a believer, and I'm pulling for the Rams because I want to see Matthew Stafford win another ring. But if they got to go, hey, this week is their Super Bowl, and we're going to talk about it. They have a tough one. That Seattle, their defense is legit. Sam Darnold is proving everybody why the Minnesota Vikings made a mistake on letting that man go. And right now, I'm gonna tell you, they're the reason why they're part of the reason why there's such a high turnover in coaches in the NFL this year. I really do believe that. Look at two different locations, ladies and gentlemen. Chicago Bears with Ben Johnson. Look at the Seattle Seahawks, got a new coach. What do you see? Coach and quarterback relationship, getting the best out of the quarterbacks. These other teams, you know what? We want that. We need that. We need a change. We need a spark. I believe that has a reason why we have 10 openings this year so far in the NFL.
Lockdown Coverage Podcast hanging out with you right now. I got Wegs, I got Blake, I got Freddie hanging out with me, Mike Tipton right here. Blake, your thoughts on the absolute I'm one of these weird people. Like, I love watching bad things happen to bad people. So I enjoyed every second of watching the 49ers get that ass whooped. But it did feel uncomfortable there for a while, because it was like I put out a meme, right? Apollo Creed's corner. Throw in the towel. It needed to happen. Someone needed to throw in the towel. Blake, what were your thoughts?
Man, you've seen an explosive offense and a powerhouse defense. Dominant on both ends. I'll give both coaches, I'll give all the coaches on the Seahawks side props. They had their guys ready and they knew it was that. I mean, they just went in there and just dominated both ends. 281 yards for total offense for Seattle. Rushing dominance. I mean, their Seahawks rushing game was phenomenal. I mean, the 49ers just couldn't stop it. I think that had to play in the factor with, missing some key players for 49ers and stuff like that, because, I mean, you've seen it through the season. I think, they had a better rushing defense in the season. So, I mean, like you said earlier, you got to give 49ers props where credit is due. They came into this game, I just didn't know if they looked ready or not. I mean, who knows? I mean, they still had 236 yards of total offense. That's not too bad. So they necessarily didn't have a terrible offense. But, I mean, when you have a defense that forced 3 turnovers in the whole game, that's kind of crucial. And 3 fourth down stops when you needed it. That's kind of crucial, especially like we talked about last week. For defenses, that's crunch time. That's where your defense is supposed to be getting down and dirty, playing hard as they can ever play. And so I think the Seahawks. I got the Seahawks going all the way for sure. Now that after what I've seen on that against the Seahawks versus the 49ers, I mean, you can't help but take the Seahawks all the way. You can't help it. That's the defense that you look for when you see a Super Bowl contending team. That's the offense you see when you see a Super Bowl contending team. I mean, they're just ready. You can see. I mean, Sam Darnold's got that firepower, like he wants to go get it. That's what Josh Allen is missing, is something like Sam Darnold. I mean, Sam Darnold's just been ready to play all year. He's ready to prove people wrong. So, I mean, that's all I got to say.
So, Wags, we're hearing it right now, right? There's the chatter out there in the background that Sam Darnold has taken that next step. Freddie said he's proven the haters wrong. He showed everybody a little bit of something. I'm leaning more towards the side of I still got to see more out of Sam Darnold. We've seen, 7 years of Sam Darnold before this? We one game don't make the difference. He is getting better. We can all agree on that. He's getting better. He has a team around him. But, Wags, do you think that Sam Darnold could ultimately lead the Seahawks to the Super Bowl here?
Well, it's one of those situations where you just want him not to lose the game, not to get in the way. In this particular game, I think he threw for 130 yards and he scored 41 points. How often is that going to happen in a football game where your quarterback doesn't have to put up the big yards? If they get the effort from Kenneth Walker again, Charbonnet's out, ACL, that's a huge loss. But if they basically don't put the game in Sam's hands, they absolutely can win the Super Bowl. You've seen it before, not very often, but you've seen it with great defensive teams. So the Rams are the team that can do it. They can take them out. We'll talk about the matchup later. But look, this team, as I was going to say, 49ers took knives to a gunfight, right? They just did not have enough juice to do it. And the Rams do offensively. They've done it throughout the year against this team. But I do think when you look at dominance, because football's about dominance, Seattle has the team that can dominate the other team. They can do it on one side of the ball. And obviously their special teams with Rashid Shaheed is a different level that other teams don't have. I don't think the Rams have it. I don't think any of the other teams we talk, Patriots or Broncos, have it. So it's about him not losing the game, not making huge mistakes. Clue in CJ Stroud. You know what I mean? If he's not making mistakes and he plays mistake free, does his reads, he's got a great receiver in JSN, he's got a good running back, then they don't need to have him put up 350. He can win it with 250, the Trent Dilfer method or whatever, back with the Ravens back in the day. So he can do it. I agree. I've been Augustine's telling us, I've been anti-Sam Darnold all year. Been going against him as much as I can. I kind of tease him. Redheaded guys, the gingers. I'm not anti-ginger, but I always say the ginger doesn't have it. But he doesn't have to have it. Just play with it himself, make some plays, and don't lose the game, because that defense is going to win you and get you short fields all game long.
I've said for years that Sam Darnold looks like a Lego fireman, and I stand by that. I do not think the fireman is going to be able to win you a Super Bowl. He's prove me wrong. Like, I would love to see it, right? Like, I love a redemption story. I would love to see this happen for Sam Darnold. I'm just not putting money behind it right now. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't trusting that. You brought the mic up, Freddie. It looks like you want to say something.
Well, I don't want to get too far. Sam Darnold had a good year, but if the Seattle Seahawks win the Super Bowl, it's not going to be because of him. Right. It's going to be because how elite this defense is, ladies and gentlemen. This defense, they have some dogs, they have some wolves, they have some coyotes, they have some hyenas on that defense. They are not afraid to attack. They are, when they hit, they hit. I was watching them the other day, man, and when the receiver catch the ball, the defender is right there. They don't miss tackles. They complete the assignment. If this Seattle Seahawks team win the Super Bowl, it's going to be because of this defense. And just like Weg said, don't lose the game. Don't go out there throw 2 or 3 interceptions in the game. Don't go out there throw a pick 6. This defense will win the game.
I will say this, though. We went into the Super Bowl last year saying that the defense was going to win the game for the Philadelphia Eagles, and Jalen Hurts put up a career game. So there is the possibility Sam Darnold makes it to the Super Bowl. He becomes Joe Montana or Tom Brady or somebody and just swinging that thing left and right. He does have JSN. We mentioned it. He's got some weapons, man. So there could be that possibility. We see like a whole different version of Sam Darnold out here throwing for 500 yards in the Super Bowl and having Super Bowl records. I'm not putting money on that. Like, there's no way I'm putting money on that. Okay, another game that happened. A game that I thought was going to be just a defensive struggle. I said it last week. Bunch of beefy men just slapping beef with other beefy men. That's what I thought it was going to wind up being. But the New England Patriots absolutely dominated the Houston Texans. I thought the Texans defense was good. I didn't want to give the Patriots their due, but they went out here and they got 4 interceptions off of C.J. Stroud. Blake, what was your takeaway from that game?
Like we said last week, our prediction for that game still stood, other than I think me and you said something about the Texans. I'm pretty sure. I think me and you said the Texans were going to come up. I think I might have been the only one that said it. Anyway.
Yeah, as a Cowboys fan, I will not root for Texas. I got family in Houston. I want them to be sad the rest of their life the way that I am.
But anyway, Patriots defense had 4 first-half turnovers in a playoff game. 4. Like I said, we talked about this last week before it even came to the game. We knew it was going to be a defensive game. Either the Texans, D'Amico Ryan was going to have his defense ready, or it was going to be the Patriots defense and their defense was going to be ready. We knew that it was going to be a defensive game the whole time, just because, you've seen the first game that C.J. Stroud did. Yes, they played pretty good. They played decent enough to win the game. Yes, but their defense stood out. That's the same. I mean, we didn't get to see the Patriots play. So, I think, like I said, I think they got the defense again, like the Seahawks. I mean, you kind of got to put them in comparison with the Seahawks. They got a defense. They just have that defense. I mean, especially if your team comes out and they look more than ready to play, and 4 first-half turnovers, that's a big plus. I mean, you got all pluses on your side, especially when that happens. I kind of expected the Patriots to do that, but I didn't say that. Just because, like y'all saying, I think that when you try to push someone, I think the expectation versus reality is a lot different. Like y'all are saying for Sam Darnold, I say the same thing for the Patriots. I love the Patriots. I like what Drake May's got going on. I like their offense. I like their defense. It's the same way with Seahawks. I mean, their team is just ready. You can see it.
Oh, please.
There you go again, Freddie. Trying to just downgrade somebody. Look at you.
What you got, Freddie? You can't just come out and say, "Oh, please."
Yeah,
and then get
yeah.
quiet.
Oh, please.
Let's just be real. CJ Stroud looked shook. He was shaking the whole game. I mean, this. And by the way, I mean, this is not the first week. You can't. You can't name a player who's had a worse playoffs, who had a worse 2-game stretch in these last 2 weeks. I mean, first it was the first game where he kept dropping the ball, kept fumbling the football. Now he throws 4 interceptions, 1 pick six. He has a passer rating low around 28. I mean, Blake, me and you could have done that. I mean, good to God Almighty.
You just hand the ball off.
I mean, we could have done that. I mean, this dude looked horrible. I mean, I don't know. You talking about a guy that has digressed? Do you guys remember what people were saying about CJ Stroud? The where they was ranking him? Was saying, "Oh, he had this talent to be one of the next up and coming Patrick Mahomes." See, the NFL have a problem, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna tell you, just like in the NBA, anytime there's a top 3 draft pick in the NBA, we're so quick and so fast. Oh, here comes the next LeBron James. Now we have an up and coming quarterback. We will put the pressure on them. Say, oh, here comes the next Patrick Mahomes. Ladies and gentlemen, it takes time. It takes greatness. You have to have it in your genes to be that. And right now, CJ Stroud, he looks shook. And I mean, he looked shook the whole game.
Freddie, if you redraft today, would you take Bryce Young over CJ?
100%.
Yeah. 100%. I remember 2 years ago, you weren't saying that.
Yeah, I agree. This
that is kind of the statistics you look at now too, like you're saying.
Hey, and same thing we can say about Caleb Williams and the kid and John McDaniels in Washington. Everybody kept saying, "Oh, they should have took McDaniel. They should have took McDaniel." Hey, it looked like Chicago is happy with their pick. They are not complaining, ladies and gentlemen.
But like you were saying earlier too, Freddie, you got to put this into perspective too. Like you were saying, it's the coach and the quarterback dynamic. If you got a coach that can just get in and coach a quarterback, that speaks a lot of volume. That speaks. That's where the NFL has come to. You can, I mean, people are looking for the Tom Brady's. That's what they're looking for. You want to go out and pick a guy in the 7th round, and you want something out of him. So you like you're saying, you get a guy that comes in there. Bryce Young, yes, it took him some time, but did he understand the offense after that? Yeah. I think they're going to be a tough team to beat in a couple years.
Blake,
I really do. I really do think look at me. The Panthers really didn't have anybody but a rushing game. And they relied on a quarterback that nobody even expected to do that. Nobody expected Bryce Young to do that. Nobody did. And they went in almost with a losing record to the playoffs. Yes, the NFC South ain't that hard.
So it wasn't almost a losing record. It was a losing record.
Yeah, well, here's what I'll say about that game. Look, Houston defense, 5 sacks, 3 forced turnovers. They only got 13 first downs, the Patriots. The defense did more than most defenses do. I don't know why they didn't go to Davis Mills. I was calling for it after last game. I know he's a kind of a washed guy, whatever. He came in, was 4-0 with that team. You know why? He hit the guys, handed the ball off. I mean, if they didn't make those turnovers, the New England scored 28 points. Obviously, had the pick six. Booty made a great catch in the back of the end zone. That broke the game open. And yes, they still had a shot, 21-16 with, the whole fourth quarter until, obviously they had a chance to come back. But it's a shame because I am so Team Houston D. I mean, I love that defense. It reminds me of 85 Bears. Love watching that team. Anderson's a beast. I mean, those guys are great. It's just a shame that they didn't have the stones to just say, look, it's not your day. It hasn't been your playoffs, like you said, Freddie. Let's go another way. Maybe he comes back in if Mills gets hurt, because just like the Seahawks, you put a situation, let that defense work, put up 16 points, you win the game. That could have been what Houston did, but hey, I get it. They got contracts, and Ryans didn't want to give up on the kid, but like you said, I think he's broken. I don't know what's going on in his eyes, his face. I don't know about him personally. Maybe he's on drugs or something. I have no idea. When I saw him play the Steelers and he's taking snaps in the chest and not knowing the snap count, I am sitting here screaming like, what is the matter with this guy? And I kind of saw the same thing with the way he's making just terrible decision after terrible decision.
And by the way, Blake brought up a great point. I want to point this out. Maybe D'Amico, and I think D'Amico Ryans is a good coach.
Yes.
But, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time to have this conversation. Maybe, and when you it's time to pick a coach. Maybe when you have a young quarterback, you might need to have somebody that's an offensive minded type of guy. D'Amico Ryan is a defensive minded coach. Not saying that he's not a good coach, but maybe he'll work more with a guy like a Matthew Stafford who's been in the league for a while. Maybe he'll be better with an older veteran guy versus a young guy. Maybe these young offensive coordinators like a Ben Johnson need to be with the young quarterbacks, need to be in there, make the game a lot easier. Maybe that's what CJ Stroud is missing, but somebody need to find a doctor, a guru, or something to get CJ Stroud mind, his mental, everything back in the game of football. Because if not, his career will be in purgatory really soon.
I mean, somebody said this when we were watching a game the other day, and I'm not sure if it's true, but Tank Dell went down last year at the Chiefs. He had that horrible knee injury, and that was his boy, and he really took it hard. I mean, in that game, he was crying on the sidelines. I'm not sure if that has anything to do with it, or maybe he's just because he's up for his extension or whatever. But I hear you, Freddie. I mean, the guy's got talent, but it's between the ears. It's not in his arm or shoulder.
I want to play devil's advocate here, right? Because the weather conditions were not great. That was a blizzard that the Houston Texans, a dome team, were playing in, right?
True.
And whenever you go into this blizzard, you also went in there without your weapons, right? We're talking about Tank Dell. Tank Dell was injured going into this game, right? Nico Collins was injured in this game. Those are two really good wide receiving options that you just didn't have, right? I get it, the 4 turnovers, it's a bad look, it's all this and that. But how much of this could also be growing pains, right? Because D'Amico Ryans was the coach with CJ Stroud whenever all the talk around him was, wow, look at how great this team was going to be. Last year, you can blame the regression on Tank Dell got hurt, Nico Collins got hurt, Stephon Diggs was hurt. Every wide receiver he had, along with Joe Mixon, like they were all hurt. This year, it feels like that injury bug just came back and got them here towards the end of the season, right? I'm not excusing CJ Stroud at all. I agree with y'all. He looked scared. He didn't look like he was ready for this moment. The moment was too big. But how
Schultz did get hurt in that game too. Mike Schultz got hurt in that first drive. He didn't come back, I think, too.
Exactly. And that's huge too. Like Dalton Schultz, we as Cowboys fans, Blake and I, we know Dalton Schultz is a pretty damn good option to have as your tight end, right? So you're not agree with the weapons that you need, is what I'm saying.
I would agree with you if he didn't have a game what he did the previous week. When he hit all the fumbles, when he shook it in that game. If he didn't have that game, I'm like, bro, you're right. It was just one of those games. Guys was hurt, but it was back-to-back games.
I mean, again, like I'm not excusing CJ Stroud at all. I think, like you guys said, there's something with the mental. Maybe it's just not preparation. Maybe there's something there that he's got to get right. He's got to have a get right. But I'm also not going to write him off right now. Because if you look at this draft class, who do you go get? What free agent quarterback is out there that you go get? So if you're the Houston Texans, you're stuck with what you got. You got to find a way to build a team around him.
Hey, I have a question. How many playoffs wins does the kid have?
He's got 3, right?
3?
One in each year, I think.
Yeah. How many playoff wins do Dak Prescott have?
So what is that?
That's just slap these guys in the face. They're Cowboy fans.
I said we're talking about good teams right now. Why are we bringing up the Cowboys?
Yeah.
I just want to remind the Cowboys, y'all are in 30 years of purgatory. 30 years of purgatory. Blake, you wasn't even alive. I wasn't even alive. It's 30 years.
Look.
I don't think you can call it 30 years of purgatory whenever no one's talking about it. You bring them up.
Exactly.
You must love them. That's what it feels like.
Hold on.
I do love them.
I think what people get disguised about the Cowboys is they love talking noise. They just love it because they think they can shine in these old big moments. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Look at that, Freddie.
He just wanted to set the new graphic up.
So
That's like you guys took the bait.
Freddie, let me tell you
I
something.
know what he was doing.
Hold on. I'm gonna say something. He wants to bring the Cowboys up. Let's bring the Giants in conclusion.
We're talking playoffs, sir.
Hold on. Do you really think John Harbaugh is going to come in and be a difference maker for this New York Giants team?
100%.
I could agree with that, but there's also, you got a young quarterback too, so that goes in comparison to what we've been talking about, the dynamic QB coach duo.
We got it.
Is that going to take effect? Because look, I can tell you this: the Ravens had John Harbaugh with Lamar Jackson, with Derrick Henry, with a good defense, and they still couldn't pull it off.
You know why?
Still couldn't.
Do you know why? Do you know why?
Because it's not the Giants.
No, they don't have what Big Blue have. See, there is a difference between Jackson Dart and Lamar Jackson. Maybe John Harbaugh is not used to a running quarterback. Let's remember when he won the Super Bowl with Joe Flacco was a stationary quarterback. So now you have Jackson Dart, who has an arm just like any other quarterback, but he is mobile as well. This Giants team have a pass rusher. They have a defense.
1 year.
The offensive line has gotten better. You have Neighbors on the other side that's been better than any receiver that Lamar Jackson's ever had. And then no matter who you put on the other side of Neighbors, it's going to be better wide receiver core than what the Ravens says. So, yes, New York, stand up. We coming, baby. Big Blue, baby. The Big Apple. We coming. Let's go.
Freddie, you're in
delusion. Last week you said you were a Rams fan. Like I'm confused right now.
Yeah.
Hold on.
He's a player fan. He's a player fan.
Tip. I'm a Rams fan because I was born in California, but the Giants is my team. I believe Big Blue, not the Star Blue, the NY Blue.
See, that's where people got wrong. You stick with one team and you ride it all the way out.
I'm a fan right now. And when it's over,
discriminates them for the rest of their life. It don't matter.
No. Can we talk about a team that was in the playoffs?
How do
electrified, proud?
We're talking about the Cowboys and the Giants right now. When we got more playoff games, let's talk about. I'm sorry you cover your ears. I know it's bad for you, Wiggs. The LA Rams go into Chicago, another snow game, another cold game. I was rooting for the Bears hard in this one.
Yeah,
but the Rams wind up getting the win in overtime, 20-17. Caleb Williams showed me something on that last throw where he's able to get a touchdown off his back foot, throwing it 50 yards into the end zone, right into the waiting hands of the receiver, and then throwing one of the worst interceptions I've seen a quarterback throw in quite some time. Wags, you had to go through all the emotions. Take us through what happened in that game.
Well, first of all, it's been a roller coaster season. You don't come back and win 7 games in the fourth quarter overtime, and your heart. I get a heart check after last week, and then this week it was the same. Look, I knew the Rams were a good football team. I do think McVay entered this game. I don't know what he was thinking. He should have just run the ball, goddamn game. He waited. He played the first drive. He ran the ball. They ran great. He waited till the fourth quarter to run the ball. For a couple of quarters, we had a shot. It's been an amazing season, magical season. I know this defense isn't that great. They're going to get better. But Caleb Williams, Freddie said it earlier, you got the man. I mean, they call him the Iceman, right? The Iceman. And it's because in the biggest moments, the guy steps up. And I was not a big Caleb guy when they drafted him. I was like, I'm not sure about this guy. Has he won? Is he a leader? Even last year was a little tough. He likes to run out and make plays. But this year, anytime the chips were down, this dude stepped up. I mean, that throw was insanity. It wasn't a great throw, the interception. I think DJ Moore gave up on the play a little bit if you watch the replay. It still was – I wish they would have just, grounded that one and go to the next play because they had the Rams on the ropes. But, hell, great season. We had an amazing season. The entire city was electric. I've heard from people that I didn't even know they watch football anymore, that I live in London. I'm a Bears fan now. I'm like, okay. Come on back to the bandwagon. So future's bright, and taking the Rams to the brink, whether they or Seattle goes to the Super Bowl. I mean, we gave them a real good scare, and I think next year, a little more defense, we'll be in the NFC Championship game for sure.
Freddie, what are your thoughts on that game? Once again, the Rams beating the Chicago Bears in Chicago 20-17 in overtime.
I have a feeling me and Wegs is about to have a welcome to the Prime Coverage Sports Network moment right here. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, the Bears will win the Super Bowl in the near future. I can see it. But if we talk about last week game, we seen greatness. And I'm speaking in terms of Sean McVay versus Ben Johnson. Is it Thomas or Johnson?
Johnson.
Johnson. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And Ben Johnson's a great offensive coordinator. We seen what he did down there in Detroit. And he made some rookie mistakes in this playoffs. The first drive down the field, instead of him getting his points, what did he do? He went for it. Interception. He stood by that. He consistently went by that motto, and he costed him. Sean McVay, during the game, I was like, man, they got to be more aggressive. But, hey, he showed that he's that veteran coach. He trusted his defense. He trusted Matthew Stafford. And we got to give credit to Chicago's defense. They have not showed a pulse all year, but Sunday night they had a pulse. That defense had Matthew Stafford shook most of the game. Matthew Stafford was not comfortable in the pocket. He was not comfortable. He was all jittery and all that. Hey, we seen it all. But we seen it when it mattered that Matthew Stafford had to make a play. He's been doing it all his life. He did that in Detroit. He did it in with the Super Bowl. Do you remember the Super Bowl when last play he went down the field, him and Cooper Kupp? They had like a little Kobe and Shaq moment. Yeah, we seen it. But that dang Caleb Williams, man, that dude there, he is a stud. I mean, he has what you call that clutch gene. I mean, you thought the game was over. The Rams brought pressure, bringing 3 defenders. The kid is running 30 yards backwards. Oh, the game is over. The game is over. The game is over. He chunks it downfield.
Freddie, in the bar when that happened, I wish there was a camera on it. I mean, everybody just going crazy. I'm hugging strangers. We're high-fiving. I mean, it's happened all season, but that was just a 51 yards in the air with that pass.
Oh, there's only one man that I can know can make a play like that. There's only one man. And that man is Aaron. That was an Aaron Rodgers type play. That was that type of play that he would have made. Chicago, you should not feel bad. You should be proud that you finally are about to be out of purgatory. You finally are out of mediocre. You finally got a pulse. And that's Caleb Williams. He is his swagger is meant for Chicago. His attitude is meant for Chicago. You guys struck gold by drafting that kid. And hopefully the Chicago Bears can continue to do right by him by putting talent around the young kid because he has that Patrick Mahomes gene inside of him.
Blake, what are your thoughts on this game?
I like what y'all are saying, especially Wes. I know this is Wes's team. There's not a soul or a part of my body that could ever hate the Bears. I love what they got going on. That offense is clicking, right? But this is, I'm gonna go to a point real quick. Have y'all ever played Madden?
Yeah.
Okay, whenever you can hit equal team, that's what we seen on that night that the Rams and the Bears played. Those were 2 equally matched teams.
No, it wasn't.
Oh yes, by far.
Oh no.
Yeah, in the playoffs. Those are the 2 most equal teams that you will see in the playoffs.
Blake,
yes.
Don't come up here.
Matthew Stafford, 20 for 42. Caleb Williams, you want to know what he threw for? 23 for 42. Caleb Williams had 257 yards passing. Matthew Stafford, 258 yards passing. Yes, Matthew Stafford threw for 0 touchdowns. Kyron Williams ran for 2. They had 87 rushing yards. Okay?
Yeah, he had a good game.
I mean, DeAndre Swift for the Bears, 76 rushing yards. He might not have done much, but he did enough. Those are two equally matched teams. The
Yeah, I do
Bears,
think the snow probably helped them. The Bears.
Time of possession.
Thank you, Wags. Please educate the young buck here. Where do you live at, Biggs? You live in Chicago?
Chicago. I live in Chicago. It's minus whatever outside. It was cold. Rams are a dome team. Stafford's 1-9 before that game. Below
all
20.
I heard last week, it's cold. It's cold. The Rams can't handle the cold. The Rams are the underdogs going to this. The Rams
but you know what, Freddie?
Pepper in their cleats.
Let me tell you something, Freddie.
Blake.
Let me tell you something, Freddie. The Rams are going to be packing next weekend. That's all I got to say.
We'll get into that.
That's all I got to say.
Hey,
the Rams are going to be packing.
We got some breaking news.
We'll be packing. The Rams.
We got some breaking news real quick. And I thought it was appropriate. The lockdown coverage does it out of the NFL. Former Dolphins head coach. He will not be a head coach this year. It's looking like that he's going to be an offensive coordinator for the Los Angeles Chargers. He's headed up there with the other Harbaugh brother.
Nice.
So
I think that's a great pickup for the Chargers.
Yes.
Like they're a run first team. Mike McDaniel is a run first coach. That's a great pickup for the LA Chargers.
Let's see if he can unlock Herbert, especially in the playoffs. But
okay, so we have the breaking news. We spoke about this a little bit ago. Sue over on YouTube is saying the Broncos are going to lose next weekend. Broncos are going nowhere except back to the drawing board, and then saying the Seahawks and Rams are going to scrap next week. True ballers, non-conformists to players. Look at this. Who do we have, guys? These two teams. Freddie, I'm going to start with you. We have the Rams and your other, or I guess it is your other team, is the Rams and the Seahawks. We've been talking about how great that Seahawks.
Hold on, Tim. Come on, man. Don't be like Blake.
I'm just pointing out you got two teams.
No.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't have two teams. Matter of fact, Blake should be going for Matthew Stafford as well. For number one, because he played against Marshall when he was in high school. If you know that. Number two, the only reason I'm going for the Rams is because I was born there. I'm pulling from because I was born there. They're not my team. But if I have a prediction, I'm going with experience. Yes, the Seahawks had a magical run. They had a magical season. Yes, the defense is elite, but we still question Sam Darnold. We don't question Matthew Stafford. We know when it matters. We know we can depend on Matthew Stafford. Tip, let me ask you a question. Did you, by all means, when the Rams needed to make a play, when they needed to go down the field and score, were you afraid that Matthew Stafford had the ball in his hands?
No, I mean I'm with you. Like I like the Matthew Stafford thing, but we've also seen Matthew Stafford fail a lot more times than we've seen him succeed.
That's in Detroit. This is what about the Rams? What about in the Rams?
We've seen him choke in the playoffs with the Rams.
When?
Now they've won one Super Bowl in the 4 years, 5 years, 6 years he's been there.
He's done more. He's done a lot more than a lot of quarterbacks. He's done more than Josh Allen's done. He's done more than Aaron Rodgers have done. He's done more than a lot of quarterbacks.
And we would look at both of those quarterbacks that you just mentioned and say they are choke artists in the playoffs. And that but I mean, what have you done for me lately?
I wouldn't say that Matthew Stafford is a choke artist. I wouldn't go that far.
No, I'm messing with you too. I'm just trying to get some strings right there. Matthew Stafford has more comeback victories in the NFL than anybody does right now, right? So a lot of that's about longevity, but I mean, come on, it's Matthew Stafford. I'm with you on that. Like the experience factor is going to play a big.
He got the best wide receiver tandem in football. And Hookah, and you got Devontae Adams. The Rams defense is no slouch. So you have Sean McVay, who's an offensive-minded coach. He's a guru. He's smart. He's been here before, and they smell blood. And when you smell blood, and when you nose right there to see, they see that trophy is right there, and they were reaching out to that trophy, and they going after, and they say, "Sam Darnold, here we come out to play, come out to play." I got the Rams winning, 24-21. A Matthew Stafford game-winning touchdown. The Seattle Seahawks will be leading most of the game. but a game-winning touchdown from Matthew Stafford.
All right, Blake, what are your thoughts on this game? Who's going to win between the Rams and the Seahawks?
I'm sorry I couldn't hear Freddie talking with all that mumbling he's got going on over there, but this is going to come down to turnovers and a defensive game, really. Can the Seahawks ultimately live up to the hype that their defense is giving week in, week out? Can they? Can they provide that? But can Matthew Stafford be the veteran quarterback and not choke? Can he do that? Can he do that? Can he go in and not choke? Can he not go in and choke, Freddie? Tell me what it is. Why are you leaning like that? Get back up in the camera.
I want you to see that New York Giants. Of course he can. Of course he can. We've seen it too many times. We've seen it this playoffs, Blake. What are you talking about? It don't matter what Matthew Stafford looked like through the first two quarters. With the fourth quarter coming to playoffs,
he hasn't seen a real defense.
What?
He hasn't seen a real defense.
The Chicago Bears wasn't a real defense last week. People was not raving how their defense looked last week.
They play decent. Look at me.
They play good, but they're not the same. This is Seattle. Seattle's 1-2 with Houston.
Exactly. You're talking about the next Legion of Boom comparison.
No, I agree.
Comparison.
Wiggs, were you guys in Chicago not saying how impressed you guys that your defense finally showed that they had a pulse?
Yeah, we played great last week. We played great.
Yeah, I mean that's two separate questions. We're talking about what we all know is a great defense in Seattle and a defense that finally showed that they were alive. Those are not two. Those are not
exactly that went into overtime. Went into overtime and won. And they almost let it slip away. Almost.
Well, no, they didn't almost let it slip away.
Oh yeah, for sure. The Bears, like I said, like I told you last week, it was going to come down to crunch time in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes left.
Let me ask you a question. Who you trust more, Sean McVay or Mike McConnell?
I trust McVay more. I trust McVay more. Yeah. But I want to tell you, I want to lay out some stuff for you guys for my take on the game. The first two games these two teams played, they were great games. Both of them were good games. They didn't sack Matthew Stafford in either of these games, which was crazy to me when I look back at it. So I think they're going to get to him this time. I don't think it's about Stafford choking. I don't think he's a choke artist in the playoffs. But is it going to be it's the Rams defense? What are they going to do? They gave up 160 yards to the Bears last week. They've given up 150 yards in both matchups against Seattle. You got to stop that run. If you don't stop the run, they're going to set up the play action pass, and Darnold's going to have easy throws. So I don't disagree with you, Freddie. I think they're going to lead most of this, Mike. They're going to lead most of this game, Seattle. I flipped because I thought the Rams are going to win the Super Bowl 3-4 weeks ago. I'm not impressed with the defense right now. They have to come up with a better effort. If they do, we know the offense is going to be there. They're going to put up some points. But if that defense can't stop that Seattle run attack, it's good night. And so
did you say Matthew Stafford didn't get sacked?
He has not been sacked in either of these matchups this year against Seattle.
Against
games,
Seattle.
He was not sacked.
Against
Seattle. He wasn't sacked once in either of the matchups. So I believe that they'll get to him this time. I think one way or another, that Seattle defense is going to be licking chops, ready to go. But to me, it's on the Rams D. If the Rams D can slow down the running attack, they'll win the game. If they let them go for 150 yards again, Seattle's going to win the football game.
You alluded to it a little bit earlier that there's one thing that's going to work in the Rams' favor right here, and that's the ACL injury to Zach Charbonnet, right? That's a huge injury if you are the Seattle Seahawks because you are a run-first team. You want Sam Darnold to be a game manager, right? That's how you want it to be. If this is a close game and it has to come down to the two quarterbacks making plays, there's one quarterback that I'm trusting here because I've seen it happen year after year after year. And that's no slight on Sam Darnold. He's had an amazing season. But if it comes down to that, I am leaning with the Rams. However, I think home field advantage is a real thing. Playing in Seattle is tough. That defense is good. I mean, great, if not one of the greatest that we've seen. They can really prove some doubters here. They can make they can change a lot of minds. They have the ability to do this. I just don't know if I trust Sam Darnold, so I'm leaning more towards the Rams.
Hey,
But I will say, according to Susu in the comments, she doesn't like Sean McVay's face. We should
I
factor
don't
that.
blame her. He has a very punchable face. The face he made on the sideline whenever Caleb Williams dropped that dime and he looked like he had saw a ghost. I want that to be my screensaver.
hey, ladies and gentlemen, I want people to know that Blake right here. I know Blake personally. Blake was a dog back in his day. Blake, tell him it's nothing like the Texas boys. Am I right, Blake? Am I right? It ain't nothing like the Texas.
No,
Matthew Stafford is a Texas.
Okay, but look.
He's a dog.
Look, Freddie. I love Matthew Stafford, and I love what he's done in the NFL. But like each of those three guys, Michael, Wes, and even you said it. What Seattle defense is going to show up to play? Is it going to be the hype defense we've been seeing all along that everybody's been given high praise, high glory, all kinds of, they're the next Legion of Boom. This is the best defense we've seen in ages, okay? Or is it going to be the defense that Wes was explaining, where they're not getting pressures to Matthew Stafford, they're not getting after Matthew Stafford, they're not going in and getting sacks in crucial moments? Are they giving the game away, or are they going to take the game? That's what's going to factor in on who comes out on top and goes to the Super Bowl.
And I don't think they're gonna touch him. They not gonna touch him. Matter of fact, they get close to him. His cologne.
But look. I'm gonna give my prediction. I think the Seahawks are gonna beat them by a touchdown and a field goal.
10 points?
Points, huh?
Yes, sir.
That's a lot.
Man,
I call.
But we can all agree that this is the Super Bowl, right, guys? I mean, do you think any of the teams are deciding to beat these teams? Sure. Come on now.
Well, hold on.
The Patriots could do it, huh?
If the Patriots get there, that will be a matchup. I'm not going to disagree with the Patriots team because they have a defense and they have offense.
Would you want to see a rookie quarterback go into the Super Bowl with?
I'm more afraid of Drake May than Sam Darnold.
Sure. He's a better quarterback. I'm not going to argue with that.
Yeah, I mean, I can't argue with first season. He's already almost leading his team to second season. Yeah. And he's leading his team to the playoffs since Tom Brady. I mean, come on. And you got a defense that can back it up because they've proven it all season.
Right. They got a defense and they have offense.
Let's talk about it, right? I don't think anyone's giving the Denver Broncos a chance here because it's Jared Stidham at quarterback right now. It's not Bo Nix. But I think even with Bo Nix, the Patriots were going to probably go into Denver and win that game. I just feel like the Patriots are the better overall team here. Is anyone going to give the Broncos a shot here? Like, do they have a snowball's chance in hell? Blake.
I don't think they have a shot. I mean, 5.5 is the spread right now to the Patriots. I would probably take those points if I was Denver, just because they're going to play, and the defense didn't play very well against the Bills. But I think they're going to play spirited on their team. They're going to, Peyton's going to have a very good game plan, but in the end, they're going to lose the game. They're not going to have anything in the fourth quarter. The dude hasn't thrown a pass since 2023. I mean, it's rough, but.
Yeah, I agree. I got the Patriots.
All right, Blake, let's
Broncos, baby. Broncos.
Yeah, he thinks the Broncos got it.
I love underdogs. And like I tried to explain to y'all, I love watching underdogs just tear it up. Man, I was laughing my ass off whenever Nick Foles took the Eagles to the Super Bowl and won. Because nobody believed in him. Sometimes you got to give faith. Sometimes it's a little bit of faith. A little bit of faith. You know what I'm saying? You got that, Freddie? You ever heard of faith? Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Like, hold on. I got a public announcement for the Prime Choice Sports Network. Starting immediately, we must do drug tests. So everybody take a drug test in the morning because of this dude right here. Tim, I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry. We got to get tested because the stuff that's coming out this man's mouth tonight is just crazy. Really?
No, man, no. Freddie, look at me. Look at me.
Hey, Wiggs, when was the last time he threw a football again?
2023. That's almost 2.5 years ago.
That's fun. That's fun.
Brother.
Let it be. Let it be. Let it be.
Blake,
The
But let me
only
tell you
shot
this.
they've got,
I just got to tell you
Blake,
something.
this is for you. The only shot they got is May has been sacked 10 times in the first 2 games of the playoffs. He's fumbled 6 times. They've lost only 3 of them, which is fumble luck in their way, and 2 interceptions. So Broncos could probably get to him and get some turnovers. That's the only way they're going to win the game.
Blake,
I got to say this.
I love an underdog story. I genuinely do. I think everybody does. But this is a 6 feet underdog, right? Like this dog has been dead and buried. It is gone. There is no way, no chance in hell. Like Vince McMahon walking out right now, $1 billion Vince. There is no chance in hell the Denver Broncos are winning this. I very rarely say that there's like a guarantee in sports because I think the ball, like anything can happen. This is not going to happen for the Denver Broncos. Jared Stidham is your quarterback. I guarantee you didn't even know what roster Jared Stidham was on until you learned this week that Jared Stidham was a Bronco.
I had to look up the spelling of the name, to be honest with you, because I misspelled it the first time I wrote it out.
Remember it. Stidham. Still.
That's right.
Because guess
That's
what?
right.
Hold on. Let me just prove this point to you.
Oh no.
Both defenses ranked top 5 in points allowed per game, setting up a potential low-scoring game, field possession battle type of game. If Stidham plays close to Nick Foles type of game situation and game type.
Foles went off.
I love a good caveat, but that if is
like
carrying a lot of weight.
like
in that
I
guy.
love it, Michael. I love it.
Hold on, guys. I'm getting a phone call. Yes, I'm having people come get drug tested to be a part of the network. They're going to send it to especially Blake Hicks. He need to be drug tested maybe 2 or 3 times. We need to make sure it's accurate. Oh, please get out of here, Blake. Get out of here. That is.
I love the criticism, man. I love it. I love the criticism.
The big thing, Blake, is that when the New England defense has what is his name, Chris Tonga and Robert Spillane in the lineup, they don't give up rush yards. And Denver's got to run the football to give Stidham a chance. They've given up like 30, 35 yards a game in the playoffs, 34 yards a game against not great offenses. Denver's probably a better offense with Knicks. I don't know, man. Going to be a tough one. I'm going to be rooting for you, though. I'm rooting for you, baby.
And I'm with you, my dude. Like, if the Broncos can pull off the impossible, you come on here next week. You just spend the first 5 minutes talking your crap to us. I am with it on this, man. I think we would all agree. I got no problem, Jenny.
But look, listen, I don't want to hear it from y'all because I went for an underdog team. I don't want to hear it.
If you bet not switch your drug test results for Blake. You bet not, because I know he owns something.
No.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know how much I'm gonna be here.
My whole entire 10.5 years I've been in the oil field, so I promise I'm not on nothing. I'm not smoking nothing. I'm not snorting nothing. I ain't jacking nothing. But I tell you what. I tell you this, Freddie. I tell you what. If Stidham comes out and dominates that defense, that just
group chat
that CJ Stroud could have done it if things could have been different, like Michael has said. If you take into account the injuries that were at effect at the Texans game, take that out. Because a backup quarterback that hasn't thrown since 2023 beat a defense that was top 5 in points allowed, Freddie. Top five. Think about that for a minute.
Well, think about this. If the Patriots got 10 points, do you trust Jared Stidham to be able to usher a comeback? No.
Hey. Who knows? Who knows?
You know what, Freddie? I'm with you on this, my dude. I don't think it's drugs. It's exhaustion. I know how bad it is up in the oil fields. You're tired. You're delusional right now. We know what it is, my guy. I got nothing but love for you, my man. Like again, for you, I hope it comes true. I do not see a scenario happening this way.
It's fine.
At like 4:30, 5 o'clock Central Time on Sunday, and when they've won the game, I'll be thinking about you, Blake. I'll be thinking about you.
Okay.
hey, and if you're right, Blake, just know I already have a trip planned to go to Hawaii. My cell service might be down.
If Blake is right, Blake needs to go buy lottery tickets, like as many lottery tickets as possible, because he's the luckiest dude in the world. If Jared Stidham,
Right, like I love what y'all are saying about the Patriots, though. Too, I agree with what y'all are saying, but
Yeah.
I love underdog stories, and I love it whenever it happens, because you get to the point where it's like, okay, now you got a team. Okay, just because you got the QB1 out, okay, the guy may have not have thrown since 2023, but he came out and won in the playoffs. I'm not saying that they're going to win the Super Bowl. By all means, I'm not saying he's going to. Just because he wins doesn't mean he's going to win the Super Bowl. I'm just saying I love underdog stories, and I love when it happens, because people's eyes just they glow a different way. They're like, oh my gosh, did you see that? Did you see that? Dude, I was rooting for the whole of the team. But guess what? You get an underdog story. I love underdog stories. It happens all the time. They call it a Cinderella effect and March Madness. You see it all the time.
And I'll tell you, I
little
told you in the
tiny
beginning
D1
of
schools
the
coming in there beating powerhouse. Man, it happened to Duke. It's happened in North Carolina. It's happened to Kentucky. The teams that you would never imagine just come in and play absolutely great.
I will say, I know you guys aren't as into the betting stuff as I am, but I do think going to this game, the Broncos would have been the favorite, right? They'd have been at least 1 or 2 point favorite, and now they're a 5.5 point underdog. That's not right. That's not right. So there's too big of a move. I think they should have been more like a 2.5, 3 point favorite. They shouldn't be 5.5 point favorites on the road, right?
Are you asking if they didn't get hurt? Would they been the favorite?
Yeah, if Bo Nix didn't get hurt,
it would have been
they
up
would
by
have
a
been the
point.
favorite.
Yeah.
I still think the Patriots would have been the favorites.
On the road? I don't know.
Oh, man.
I don't know. At worst, to pick them. It
You got a
moved like
top 3
7
defense.
points. Hey, I think the Patriots are a pretty good team, but they also haven't played much, right? They obviously saw C.J. Stroud's worst game. The Chargers don't have an offensive line, and they did have the easiest schedule in the NFL this year. So I don't know. I don't think Denver's defense is playing where it was. Like after the bye, they gave up some points, against good teams. So I don't know. I'm just telling you from a betting side, they definitely would have been a short favorite.
So there you have it, y'all. We are split on the Rams and the Seahawks, and we are 3-1 on the Broncos and the New England Patriots. That one, again, I'm rooting for that one, but I just don't see that one happening. So hopefully it does. For you, my dude, I hope it does. And like I said, if it happens, we will give you your flowers. You come on the show next week, and you get to just brag about how much smarter you are than the rest of us.
No, it'll never be like that. But
you better, because I would. You better, because I would.
No, man, y'all.
Freddie would have a new thing behind him. He's got a new background.
Sure I'm smarter than these guys. You're right. I sure would.
And I dang sure would never put a New York Giants.
Hold on. Tim, I want to introduce a new member to the show real quick. I just recruited him to the network. He's about to pop on real quick. Give me 1 second. Let me add him to the screen real quick. He's the newest member to this podcast. Hold on, There he is. The newest member to the Lockdown Coverage Podcast. You can see him every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
He already looks like he's wrong.
Yes.
He got 2 Super Bowls ever since the Cowboys have won one in 30 years. So he's doing something right.
Why you gotta always be against the Cowboys, man?
Is that a Cruz jersey? Whose jersey is that?
I'm not sure.
That's Victor Cruz's jersey.
Victor Cruz, number 80, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a Daniel Bellinger jersey.
Oh.
Hey, he's a pretty decent tight end.
A pretty decent tight end. I love that. Nothing. That's a raving review right there. He's pretty decent. That's all you need. That 5-star review right there. The restaurant, it was pretty decent. I'm good with it right there. All right, Freddie, I know we've gone, 17 minutes past the hour. I'm sorry, we went a little longer than what we normally do. Didn't get to all the topics again today, but hey, we had a great conversation. Everybody, I want to thank you so much for tuning into today's show. Wags, Blake, Freddie. It was awesome. I'll see you all next week. Have a good week, everybody.
Everybody. Yes, sir.
Peace.
Yeah, hey, drop.
Prime Coverage Sports Network. Real coverage, real conversation.